I started posting these YouTube videos because I wanted to have a better appreciation for how using this technology was transforming the way that we connected with each other, and to see if using this technology was changing the way that we create or recreate our sense of personal identity. I had been watching YouTube and dialoguing with some YouTubers for a couple of years in trying to uh, find out what it was that they found compelling about YouTube, what was leading them to post, and what were their experiences in posting. But I could not quite get at the answers that I felt were satisfactory, at least to me. So I started a project where I was going to try it myself, and in hopes that by posting some of my questions and experiences, I would be able to stimulate some sort of dialogue with people who were watching or other YouTubers. Since that time, I have arrived at some answers to some of my initial questions, which I find more satisfactory now, and therefore I've decided to reboot this project and move on to the point where I'm going to look at some of the questions that have emerged largely from my experiences over the last 2 months making YouTube videos. I think, and I touched on this in one of my earlier videos, since that time I've given it considerable more thought, and I think that my initial assessment as to how profound a change was occurring here because of Web 2.0 technology like YouTube and blogging and Twitter and Facebook and MySpace, etc., I think that my initial assessment as to how profound it was a little bit overzealous. I think it is perhaps more mundane than I had originally assumed. I said in that video that I thought that this was merely facilitating two basic human characteristics. The first one being that we are, most of us perhaps are impelled to create. And I don't mean that we all create great pieces of music or arts or literature, but that we are inherently creative, that whether we reassemble words in a different order to tell a story of what happened at work today, or we make up a story to our children when we're putting them to bed, I think that we all are creative individuals to varying degrees and to varying magnitudes. I also think that we are compelled to connect with one another, and that perhaps that in that connection we are sharing what it is that we create. And I think that's all that's going on here. I think that just as the technology that led to us being able to make written language and then transmit our ideas through written language to other people at other places and other times, that YouTube and blogging and does basically the same thing on a greater scale with a greater ease for far greater numbers of us. But I think that the basic root of what is going on here is that we are creating and we are connecting. And whether we are simply recapping the news or we are inserting ourselves into it using Photoshop, whether we are covering songs, producing original songs, making funny skits, that the majority of YouTubers, perhaps all of them, when you look right into it, what you're seeing is a creative expression and a desire to connect with other people through that creativity, to share it with other people, and in hopes that maybe there will be a connection. So that's what we're doing here. That's what people who are posting on YouTube are doing. It's nothing any more profound than the fact that we are sharing with other people that which we have created, whether it is the questions in our own minds, our characters that we create, the stories that we tell. We are sharing it with each other, and that's what I'm doing here now. I am sharing with those who choose to view the fruits of my creative endeavors, and that being questions about how this technology is changing us. And I don't think it is anything more profound than that. And so that is what I share with you today. I share with you the answer to one of my first questions. And what is it we're all doing here? What's going on here? We're creating and we're sharing with one another. So there you go. And perhaps maybe you will share your ideas with me. Have a nice day.